गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भवानी शंकरौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्थमीश्वरम्। सुधानन्दं सुमहानन्दं सुधानन्दं सुमहानन्दं आत्मानन्दं हरिगोविन्दम् आत्मानन्दं हरिगोविन्दम् सुधानन्दं सुमहानन्दम् आत्मानन्दं हरिगोविन्दम् अनाकाशं परमाकाशम् अनाकाशं परमाकाशम् चिदाकाशं हरिगोविन्दम् चिदाकाशं हरिगोविन्दम् नानाकारं भुवनाकारम् नानाकारं भुवनाकारम् अनाकारं हरिगोविन्दम् अनाकारं हरिगोविन्दम् अनायासं परमायासम् अनायासं परमायासम् कलिदोषघ्नं हरिगोविन्दम् कलिदोषघ्नं हरिगोविन्दम् गोपीखेलन जगत्परिपालन गोपीखेलन जगत्परिपालन भक्तलालन हरिगोविन्दम् भक्तलालन हरिगोविन्दम् लीलालालित गोभिर्निगदित लीलालालित गोभिर्निगदित साधुवन्दित हरिगोविन्दम् साधुवन्दित हरिगोविन्दम् गोपीखेलन जगत्परिपालन भक्तलालन हरिगोविन्दम् सुधानन्दं सुमहानन्दम् सुधानन्दं सुमहानन्दम् आत्मानन्दं हरिगोविन्दम् आत्मानन्दं हरिगोविन्दम् अनाकाशं परमाकाशम् अनाकाशं परमाकाशम् चिदाकाशं हरिगोविन्दम् चिदाकाशं हरिगोविन्दम् सुधानन्दं सुमहानन्दम् सुधानन्दं सुमहानन्दम् आत्मानन्दं हरिगोविन्दम् आत्मानन्दं हरिगोविन्दम् 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 चिदंशं विभुं निर्मलं निर्विकल्पं निर्मलं निर्विकल्पं निरीहं निराकारं ओंकारवाच्यम् ओंकारवाच्यम् गुणातीतमव्यक्तम् एकं तुरीयम् एकं तुरीयम् परं ब्रह्म यं वेद तस्मै नमस्ते तस्मै नमस्ते विशुद्धं शिवं शान्तमाद्यन्तशून्यं जगज्जीवनं ज्योतिरानन्दरूपम् अदिग्देशकाल व्यवच्छेदनीयम् त्रयीवक्तियं वेद तस्मै नमस्ते तस्मै नमस्ते लपन्नच्युतानन्त गोविंद विष्णु मुरारे हरे नाथ नारायणेति नारायणेति यथानुस्मरिष्यामि भक्त्या भवन्तम् तथा मे दयाशील देव प्रसीद तथा मे दयाशील देव प्रसीद देव प्रसीद। हरिः ओम। When we experience stressful reactions in us as a consequence of encountering and facing the situations external and internal, when we take a close look at these stressful reactions, we come to understand that initially, even though they appear to be, they look as if that they are being caused by something else, someone else, which is different from us. But after we take a close look and study them, then we come to understanding that it is we ourselves who create these stressful reactions. And these stressful reactions are created in us by ourselves as a consequence of what we are holding inside us, within us. That which we are holding inside us, because of that, these stressful reactions are created by us and experienced by us. It is easy to put a blame on something else, to disown our responsibility. Otherwise, it is because of us holding something inside us We are holding on to something inside us, and then as a consequence of that, we are creating by ourselves these stressful reactions. That means nobody else is responsible. Nothing else other than us is the cause. It's very difficult to accept this. At least somebody or something has to be there other than us, so that we can easily attribute that, transfer that, because of that, because of this, because of him, because of her. But the truth is something different. Stressful reactions are experienced by us because they are created by us, because we are holding something inside us. And what is that which we are holding something inside us? The suppressed feelings which are there. The energy of the suppressed feelings is there, which is giving rise to these feelings. So these suppressed feelings that are there, they determine our belief systems. It is those belief systems we are holding on to. Everyone has his own, her own belief system. I believe that these things are true. This is how it should be. This is how it can be. This is the only way. This is how I look at it. So these belief systems are there. And these belief systems are because of the suppressed feelings. They determine these belief systems. And not only that, these suppressed feelings not only determine our belief systems, but also determine our perception of ourselves and of others. How we look at ourselves, how we look at others. The belief system is there. Unless and until this belief system is accepted and implemented and it is being practiced by others and us, we are not comfortable. So we want this belief system to be implemented. So then through that belief system we perceive us and perceive others. So if others are not accepting or not conducting according to the belief system, then there is an ingredient of the belief system that I react, I don't accept, I become violent because they are not accepting and implementing it. So this is my belief system. Whether they accept or not, it is their choice. Whether I have to react or not, it is my choice. But I forget about my choices. I am conditioned by this belief system. So if nothing is according to this belief system, then I tend to react more. And I think the cause for this reaction is they are not following what I wanted them to follow. I am not able to adjust because they are not following what I wanted them to follow. They are not following, that is okay. But can I adjust? I also cannot adjust. I cannot accept. This is a belief system. I cannot accept their way. I cannot accept their behavior. I will not be able to accept. I cannot stand them. I have to have it my way. Otherwise I become restless. And this is the only way. This is the noblest way. This is the greatest way. This is the divine way. That is how I conclude. That is how I think my belief system is correct. That is how everybody thinks their belief system is correct. So all belief systems are in clash. I have my suppressed feelings, you have your suppressed feelings. Those feelings have created these belief systems. And then these belief systems are in clash. So until and unless we do something with these things, because they determine our perception of ourselves and our perception of others, not only that, it doesn't end there. In addition to that, these belief systems create the events and situations. They create the events and situations. And then when we look at these events and situations, then we react to more. More reaction, meaning what? We are not able to accommodate ourselves with that. So more negativity. More negativity, more energy. More energy is there, negative energy, we suppress it. We dump it into ourselves. That will create more feelings, which will create more belief system, which will create more conditioned perception, which will create more situations and events, which will create again more reactions. So this is a cycle. This is an illusory cycle we have set into motion. That is the reason why great sages say we are living in a world of illusion. Illusion doesn't mean leave the wife, leave the husband, leave the property, leave this, leave that. Forget about all that. The events which we are seeing, are they real events? The situations which we are encountering and experiencing, are they real situations? Or we have projected them into the world like that? The scriptures say we have projected them into the world like that. Because of our conditioned way of looking at the things. Because our perceptions are conditioned by, determined by belief systems. As long as the perceptions are conditioned by belief system, as long as we don't surrender that belief system, we will never come out of the illusion. We will justify, we will fight, we will quarrel, we will divide, we will separate, we will die for the sake of that belief system. How many people live their lives for this? Births together this goes on. That is why illusion doesn't belong to one's particular situation. Lifetimes. To get out of that illusion, we need a divine grace and the master's blessings. Otherwise, we will never come to know also that this is what it is. That is what great sages say. We are living in an illusion. This is not a statement of an ordinary person. The great masters who have experienced their truth in themselves, and they have understood that all these perceptions are conditioned perceptions because of belief system, because of suppressed feelings which are there inside us. We are holding on to them. So we need to overcome them. So that is why the great masters say all that we experience are our own thoughts and feelings and beliefs projected onto the world, actually causing what we see to happen. Whatever we are seeing, whatever is happening, whatever we see as happening, that is all because of our projection. That is the reason why it is said feelings determine thoughts, and thoughts that we hold in mind determine outcomes. The outcomes are determined by thought. Thoughts are determined by feelings. So we need to do something at the level of the feelings. We need to do something at the level of the belief system, at the level of the conditioned perceptions. We are always thinking, if we remove that cause, if we remove this cause, which is not correct, which is only according to our projection, that is the cause. So if we change this, if we change that, we may be okay, everything will be fine. That is why whatever we change, again after some time we will get into the same situation. Again the disturbance continues, wrong perceptions continue, reactions continue, dissatisfaction continues, peacelessness continues, change the relationship, change the job, change the situation, change the property, change this, change that. Everything we try to change except our belief systems. So we want the world and people and situations and things to adjust and fit into our belief systems. That is why we hold on to that. That is why great masters say it is an illusion. The feelings that are there determine and produce the kind of thinking that is there inside us. The way in which we think, the type of thinking, the mannerism of thinking, the texture and content of thinking, all is determined by these feelings. And it is these feelings that lead us into success or into failure in any endeavor. That is why it is said, handling the feelings is a key to expansion. Mishandling the feelings is the cause for constriction of our talents, abilities and actions. It is for this reason that the great masters, in order to make us come out of this illusory living, they said, nothing else is real except the divinity. When it is understood, except the divinity, nothing else is real, at least we will come to understand the feelings that we are holding on to, the belief system that we are holding on to, the perceptions which we are holding on to, they are not real. At least I have to come out of it. I have to let go of them. I have to surrender them. I have to give up. Then only I can come out of them. Otherwise I will hold on to them. Lives together I hold on to them. I live a life of peacelessness. I live a life of strife, conflict, restlessness, agitation, annoyance, but I hold on to them. Everything I look at, I think it is correct perception, but that is based on conditioned belief systems. I need to get out of them. That is why Adi Shankaracharya says, just to take us out of this illusory living, he says, nothing else is there connected with us. Nothing is connected with us. In order to prove this point, make us understand this, they start communicating to us about the things that we hold on to as a matter of fact of attachment. So when they convince us that these are all unreal, then at least when we start with understanding that the gross things which we hold on to are unreal, then slowly we come to a thinking that understanding that subtle things which we are holding on to are certainly unreal. na tato na mata, na bandhur na data, na putro na putri, na bhrutyo na bharta, na jaya na vidya, na vrittir mamaiva, gatistvam gatistvam, tvameka bhavani, gatistvam gatistvam, tvameka bhavani, tvameka bhavani. Sri Adi Shankaracharya ji, in order to lift us up, take us out of all these conditionings, belief systems, suppressed, repressed feelings which are coloring the world that we see and making us undergo all kinds of unwanted experiences. He starts negating and rejecting everything that is there. Except Goddess Bhavani, nothing else is there. Gatistvam gatistvam, tvameka bhavani, tvameka bhavani. O Mother Bhavani, you are the only refuge for me. There is no one else. There is no other shelter. There is no other protection. There is nothing else. I am not at all connected with anything real. Nothing is real. Na tato, na mata, na bandhur, na data. I do not have father. I do not have mother. Aha. Don't go and tell this in front of the parents. Then they will say, I don't have a son or a daughter. Because without us, how can you come? It is not the question of the grossest thing. It is a question of the subtlest things, attachments which you are holding on to. If those things are removed, then these much more subtler things which you are keeping inside, those things can be renounced. Na tato, na mata, na bandhur, na data. I do not have a relative. Na bandhuhu, na data. I do not have any giver. He alone is the real giver. Who else is the giver? Unless and until he enlivens any being that gives whatever they want to give to us, it is only because of him. All other givings are all intermediary, superficial things. The real giver is he only. And then whenever we are confused and tired of relatives, we will say, I don't have any relatives. That is different story. It is not like that. So the relationship itself is denied because that is based on some sort of conditioning. Na putro, na putri, na bhrutyo, na bharta. I do not have the son. I do not have daughter. I do not have the servant. I do not have a husband. Na jaya, na vidya, na vrittir mamaiva. I do not have wife. I do not have learning. That is what is the basic point. I don't have the proper learning. In order to tell that, all this is said. I am not learned properly. I might have degrees and certificates of my worldly learning. But I have not really learned because I don't know that the way in which I am looking at the world is a conditioned looking. Whatever I am experiencing, it is a conditioned experiencing. It is all because of my projections. I do not know. That is why, in order to teach us about our projection, they start talking about God's projection. God projected everything through his power called as Maya. Nothing was there. Everything else manifested out of this creative power of God called as Maya. Slowly, galaxies came, solar system came, planets came, this came, that came. Then finally they come to the main point. Whatever you see, it is all God's projection. Okay. Then whatever you see in your life is your projection. Because you have to start from there. Directly if you say that what you are seeing a projection, that person will immediately say, what you are seeing is my projection. You are asking me to get out of projection, that is the projection. They will not accept. because the ego will not allow us to accept immediately. So that is why they start like that. So denying all relationships is basically denying our limited way of looking at things. That is why it is said, na vidya. I do not have the proper way of looking at things. I don't have the right way of looking at things. I am not seeing that which is actually. I am seeing that which I want to see. That which I am made to see. That is what I am seeing. My perception is limited. My perception is colored. So that is the reason it is said, na jaya, na vidya, na vrittir mamaiva. Whatever I have taken up, all that is connected with the basic dysfunctional conditioning that is there inside, which makes us dysfunctional in the right sense. So that has to be overcome. I do not have any job, meaning I don't have any job actually in this illusory world. I don't have any job here. That's what people say, no? Whenever they don't want to do anything, I have nothing to do here. I have nothing to do with you. I have nothing to do with this. So, like that, I have nothing to do, no job to be done here, no job, no profession to be taken care of. Whatever profession I am holding on to, it is only because of that illusory understanding. So then what else is there for me? If nothing is there, what else is there? Gatistvam, gatistvam, tvameka bhavani, tvameka bhavani. Bhavani is beyond all this. Bhavani is beyond all these illusory perceptions, conditioned perceptions, colored perceptions. It's beyond all these things. So that is why beyond illusion. So, O Mother Goddess Bhavani, you alone are there. Thou alone are there for me. Thou alone are there for me. Meaning that is the right learning. Thou alone are there for me. It is the conscious way of looking at things. It is the watchful way of looking at things. It is the awareness filled way of looking at things. It is the surrendered way of looking at things. That is the right way. Thou alone are my refuge, O Bhavani. Meaning what? Uplift me. Give me the right vision. Teach me the right knowledge. Make me learn the right things. That is all is included in this. Gatistvam, gatistvam, tvameka bhavani. The influence that our thoughts and feelings have on us and on others, this is connected with the law of karma. If we go deeply into it to study it at the subtlest level, that is what it is. We give something and we get something in return. So we get what we give, we reap what we sow, at the thought level, at the feeling level also, not only at the deed level, because all the deeds are actually controlled by thoughts and feelings. So whatever we are getting right now, it is because of something that we have taken up at some point of time, either now in this lifetime or then at any other point of lifetime. So that is why it is connected with that law of karma. So if we make a close observation, negative feelings arise when we dislike something that we see, that we hear, that we think, that we remember. Because we are always remembering something, thinking something, hearing something, seeing something. Then that all is conditioned by likes and dislikes. So if we dislike something, we don't want to hear about somebody, and somebody comes and starts praising that fellow only in front of us. But we can't say like that. Externally, inside, and then it's all dumped inside. We did not handle them properly. We did not tackle them properly. So they are all deposited, dumped. And they will not keep quiet. They will get piled up, stored up. This is what is that pressure. And then that will give rise to more feelings. And then they will color. They will create belief system. And they will color the perception. They will create events and situation, and then we come to experience, and then we react. This is what is happening. If we can handle them then and there, whatever we hear, what does it matter? We hear something, so what? Why should what we hear generate such a negative feeling that it is uncontrollable? We don't know what to do with it. We don't know how to deal with it. We dump it. Not in a trash can. Inside there is some can. So then we dump it. So negative feelings arise when we dislike. That is why in this Shastra it is said Raga Dveshas are the cause. Traditionally we keep on listening to them, Raga Dvesha, Raga Dvesha, Raga Dvesha. How many times I heard. But if you approach it from a different angle, again coming back to the same dislikes. Likes, dislikes. The negative feelings arise when we dislike what we see, what we hear, what we think, what we remember. We can't control thinking, remembering, seeing, listening because we are living. But dynamically we involve in these things. Because we have eyes, we see. Whether we understand or not, I say, I see, you see. Both of us are in a sea of confusion. I hear, keep on hearing so many things. And there are always people with their conditioned belief systems to dump so many of their vulgarities inside our ears. As if these are not sufficient for us. We take them also. And then these things get multiplied inside. And then more reaction. Are we not doing this? Are we not getting involved in this? We see something. What? We hear something, we think something, we think, we keep on thinking, we dislike that. We dislike something about us, something about others, something about North Pole, something about South Pole, something about Antarctica, something about Greenland, not this Greenland. And then we react because we dislike. And something about a non-existent galaxy, because there are arguments. Some of the astronomers, they keep on arguing about that which is existent, that which is non-existent. So I dislike the way in which you talk, the way in which you behave, the way in which you conduct yourself, because I want you to behave like this. I dislike. So I build up feelings and I think you are the cause for my built up. And then I give a built up afterwards. Already I am collapsed and then I give a built up. This is what it is. This is what is illusory living. Illusory living doesn't mean running away from property, job, profession. This is what we have to get out of these things. So that is where Mahatmas say negativity does not exist within a situation or in an event. It resides in our reaction to the situation and it resides in our perception in which we perceive the situation. It resides in our perception, it resides in our reaction. It doesn't reside in event or situation. If truthfully we want to get out of it, we need to understand that this is where it is. Very difficult to accept. Hardly there will be very less number of people who will accept this. That is why the people want to change situation, change event, change persons, change objects, change things. Because I dislike, I don't like, this is because, it is because of that I am reacting, it is because of that I am experiencing this unwanted feelings, unwanted experiences. I am not comfortable with them. So why am I experiencing them? It is because of this. It is because of that event, that situation, that person, this thing. Everywhere it is the same thing. We keep on changing families, changing relationships, changing wives, changing husband, changing friends, changing profession, changing jobs, changing gurus, changing gods, changing organizations. We continue the same. Go from the public place to private place to forest where there is no rest. And then I come back. I don't know where I am. Totally confused. That is the reason it is said we have to get out of them. So negativity does not exist in an event, does not exist in a situation. It exists in our perception and our reaction. The day when we understand this, all that we need to do is get out of this perception, get out of this reaction. How? Surrender them. No need to handle them. No need to take 111 and start counting like hair. Somebody, had nothing else to do, started counting his hair, others' hair, strands of hair. Busy, very busily engaged. From external perception, it looks as if very busy. No time, yaar. इतना गिनना, गिनते रहते, कुछ भी काम को नहीं आता. Whatever is there in this world, it is only because of that divine presence. If we have to get out of these reactions and perceptions connected with the belief systems, we need to surrender them unto the divine. Keeping all these reactions and perceptions and belief systems and conditionings where there can be concentration, and keeping all of them intact, you attend workshops outside, pay 7,000, 10,000 and attend workshops. What? Weekend workshop. What? Moksha, liberation. You don't do anything, I will give you moksha, liberation. You pay 7,000, you get moksha of that money. That is all it is. How can on a weekend realization happen? It's a business in spirituality. I know how to fool you because you are ready to get fooled. No effort also, effortless fooling. So, the success in the world is related to our ability to concentrate, which means our ability to keep our attention on one thing at a time without the interference of other thoughts and feelings. Ability to keep our attention on one thing at a time without the interference of other thoughts and feelings. Who is interfering us with thoughts and feelings? Our own belief systems. They will never allow us to concentrate. You pay 1 lakh, you pay $1 million and for a workshop and sit there and come back home, same thing will be there because same belief system, same conditioning. They will never allow us to focus on one thing at a time because distractive thoughts, distractive reactions, our feelings are there, they are distracting, they are taking us away. It is not anybody outside, it is everything inside. So these have to be managed and handled. That is why it is that the most successful people in the world are those who hold in mind the highest goal of all the concerned people, including themselves. Those who have the highest goal of success for all, including themselves. They are the most successful people. That is what is real success. And such people, they do not seek happiness outside themselves. Because they have understood that happiness is deep inside themselves. They have discovered that it is a product of doing what one loves. If I am able to enjoy and love what I do, if possible, I do only what I love. If that is not possible, I, with understanding, by overcoming the resistances, the reactions, the thoughts, the feelings, if I am able to love whatever I do, then I enjoy the most. I experience the higher energy in me, the boundless energy in me. All that boundless energy belongs to God. It is waiting for us to tap it. We have to tap that energy. It is available inside, it is available outside, it is available right side, it is available left side, it is available above, it is available in the below, it is available all around us, inside us, outside us, everywhere. Because that alone has manifested the whole world. He alone is the cause for everything that is there in the universe. If we surrender these negativities unto Him, if we seek that highest energy from Him, He is ready to give. Namo Vishvakartre, Namo Vishvahartre, नमो विश्वभोक्त्रे नमो विश्वमात्रे नमो विश्वनेत्रे नमो विश्वजेत्रे नमो विश्वपित्रे नमो विश्वमित्रे नमो विश्वमात्रे। ओ प्रभु रामचंद्र, Adi Shankaracharya ji in his Rama Bhujanga Prayata Stotram, in this sloka, he says, O Prabhu Ramachandra, thou art the cause for everything that is there. Namo Vishwakartre, you are the creator of this world. Not only that you are the creator, we also create so many things, but we don't know how to get out of them, how to get rid of them. But Bhagavan, he creates and again he removes them also. Namo Vishwahartre. He is the one who removes the world also. He projects the world, he manifests the creation, he removes that creation. He dissolves it into himself. He knows how to bring things out and how to take them back. That is what we have to understand. Namo Vishwabhoktre, Namo Vishwamatre, Namo Vishwabhoktre. Thou art the experiencer of this world. My salutations unto you. Thou art the experiencer. I think I am the experiencer. My limited ego is the experiencer. But actually you are the one who is enlivening that ego also, strengthening that ego also, giving energy to that ego also, creating the situations also, creating the contact with the objects of experience also, and then enlivening that experience also, making and illumining that knowledge of experience also, because you are that Bhoktra. You are that Bhokta. Namo Vishwabhoktre. You are the experiencer. Namo Vishwamatre. You only can measure the whole world. Who can measure the creation? Who can really measure what else? What is there in the creation? How big it is? What all things are there? Nobody knows. Everybody is guessing. Everybody is trying to know in the name of research. That is all it is. You are the only one who knows, who can measure everything, who has measured as a Vamana, the sky also, the earth also, the whole creation also. You only can measure. You only know the measure of the whole creation. Namo Vishwanetre, Namo Vishwajetre, Namo Vishwanetre. You are the leader of the world. You only can lead everything, every being, every person, everything. If I want any guidance, you are the one I have to seek guidance from, because you are the leader. You know how to lead. Everybody, lead me from darkness of ignorance into the light of knowledge, from the death to immortality. So you only can lead me. That is why you are Namo Vishwanetre, Namo Vishwajetre. You are the one who is the victor in this world. You can win over anything. If I surrender unto you, if I hold on to you, I can also win over all these things. I can overcome all these feelings, all these thoughts, all these belief systems, all these reactions, all these suppressed things. I can overcome all of them. Only because you can win and you can make me win. You win everything. You are Vishwajetre. You can win anything in this world. Namo Vishwapitre. You are my father. So you can hold my hand and lead me. Just as I surrender unto my father when I am a child, I surrender now because I am your child, O Father. You please lead me. You know what is right. You know what is correct. You know what is best. You know what is the most important thing for me. I don't know. What do I know? As a child, what do I know? Do I know anything? As a child, I leave everything. Now, because I think I know better than my father, I start thinking and then condemning and then arguing and then fighting and then brushing aside. But there were days where I didn't know anything also. I didn't know how to sit also, how to lie down also. If you don't mind, how to shit also. I don't know, I didn't know anything. I was made to do all of them. By whom? By my parents only, no? So that is why God is being considered as parent. Namo Vishwa Pitre, Namo Vishwa Matre. Oh God, Ramachandra, you are my mother. You are my mother. Mother means what? You kept me inside you. You brought me out of yourself. I was in your consciousness as an ingredient of you. I was deep one with you. You brought me out of it and put me in this confusion. I am unable to understand this creation. I am unable to handle this. I don't know what to do with this. So what can I do? I can only go back to those days. That is why many people think it was such a wonderful situation when I was in my mother's womb, because nothing I had to do. Everything mother does. I only have to lie down. That's what people nowadays, you ask, relaxation means what? Doing nothing? That's simply lying down. So, oh God, you kept me inside. Please keep me again back inside in your consciousness, one with you. Because outside you, in this world, which is projected as, considered as something other than you, even though in that highest level of evolution there is nothing other, there is nothing here, idhar udhar kidhar kuch bhi nahi hai, in that highest level. But now, because I am seeing you as different from me, the world as different, Jiva, Jagat, Paramatma, all are different. So that is why these differences are there. So I am unable to stand here. You please take me inside, into you. Because for the mother to keep the child inside, what is there? What eligibility criterion? What sadhana the child has to do? What requirements are? Nothing. It is sheer love to give a new opportunity to the child. The mother bears the child in the womb. That's all. So, oh God, I don't have any eligibility criterion. I didn't do anything. I cannot do anything. You keep me inside you. I have come out into this world. I cannot stand all this illusion. Take me inside. Namo Vishwapitre, Namo Vishwamatre. Hey Prabhu Ramachandra, please have mercy upon me. I surrender unto you. You please take care of me. What a beautiful thing it is. Surrender is not for the people who are fit for nothing, good for nothing. One who can really be courageous enough to handle the ego and get rid of it, only for those people, the path of surrender is functional. At least we need to have trust in the divinity. Oh God, nobody else is there for me. You are everything. You please take care of this. In order to make us understand that all that we undergo inside is because of our own belief systems, our own conditionings, our own feelings, our own perceptions. Let us take an example which was given by a great master of enlightenment, which tells us about various things in us. At various levels we perceive the same thing in different ways. An event is not the cause. A situation is not the cause. What is there inside is the cause. When we talk about levels of consciousness, to make it very simple, we can brand them and put them and categorize them into three things which you already know. Inert levels, energetic levels, peaceful levels, which can be easily compared with inert levels tamasic, energetic levels rajasic, peaceful levels sattvic. What happens is, when we have unrealistic scriptural understanding, the moment some point comes, we brand them into tamas, rajas, sattva, and then we finish it off. We will keep them there. We will not deal with them anymore. We will not do any sadhana. I have understood, no? What? Mind will give an illusory thinking inside. समझ गया क्या? तामसिक, राजसिक, सात्विक. और क्या? कवर में रख के गीटी डाल के बाजू पर रख दो. होगा? I understood. That is why sometimes these conditioned words are not being used. So inert levels, energetic levels and peaceful levels. At the inert level, tamasic level, the thinking pattern is, I don't know. Not with humility. In ignorance, I don't know. I don't know how to handle, I don't know how to take care of this, I don't know how to deal with that. I am not sure. Second thought, I am not sure. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. I don't know. I am not sure. I don't think I can. Tamasic levels, thinking pattern. Apathy, grief, fear. All these three are connected with tamasic level. Already we have seen on second day, third day, we were dealing only with these feelings. Then Rajasic level, it is compulsive, impulsive. The thought pattern is compulsive, impulsive. It is compulsory to do this. It is impulsive. With an impulsive way, we will do that. Rajasic, na? Energetic. Don't know how to handle it. Too much of energy. So compulsive, impulsive. Desire, anger, pride, they are all in the Rajasic level. There are some positive thoughts, dynamic thoughts, but majority of the feelings are negative. There is a win and lose situation. I win, so you have to lose. Or sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. This type of situation. Then we get into this Sattvic level, that is peaceful level. The levels of courage, acceptance, love. There is concentration. I can concentrate. There is observation. I can observe. There is inspiration. I am inspired. There is creativity. There is newness. There is good communication. I communicate. In Sattvic levels, this is how I live, I function. Tamasic level, I don't know. I am not sure. I don't think I can. Rajasic level, compulsive, impulsive. But Sattvic level, creativity, observation, inspiration, concentration, communication. Tamasic level, thoughts of failure, thoughts of low esteem, thoughts of discouragement and vulnerability. Anything can make us react wildly. Tamasic level. Thoughts of discouragement. I tell others also, discourage others. I see also failure. In me also failure. Low self-esteem. That is how Tamasic level. Rajasic level, good vigor. There is good drive. Better concentration. Excessive verbalization. Chatter, chat. Chatter, chatter. Excessive verbalization. But at the same time, there are blocks inside, selfish intentions inside. They have to lose because I have to win. I will get commission, I will get some gain, I will get some profit. Always looking at these things. If it is profitable, I do. If it is any activity, if I do, I see something gain is there for me. Then at the Sattvic level, highest concentration is possible. Creative ideas are there. Loyalty is there. I am loyal. Win-win situation is there. Converting everybody into friends is there. Positive thinking is there. Visualizing is there. Surrendering is there. Oh, all these things है बोलो ही नहीं. तामसिक लेवल में, राजसिक लेवल में surrender नहीं है, thinking नहीं है, observation नहीं है, higher levels कुछ भी नहीं है. One person went to a shop and then asked, I want a very strong mirror, because I had been using mirrors, every now and then they fall down, they break into pieces. I want the strong mirror. And then the shopkeeper said, sir, try this, but this is very costly, sir. If you throw this mirror from the 100th floor till 99 floors, it will not break. And this man was convinced. He took that mirror for ₹1,00,000. He did not think afterwards it will break. 99 floors it doesn't break. Lelo. He did not say about the 100th floor. The impact is in the 100th floor, not in the 99th floor. But he got convinced. Because of his conditioning, he was not able to see what is truth. One professor, he called in order to handle the thing that is happening in the university, which is creating lot of confusion in the university, bringing infamy to the university. So he called a plumber so that he can check with the help of the plumber how the question paper leaks. To stop the question paper leakage of question paper, he called the plumber. Will it leak through pipes? But he thought like that, his understanding. One person said, I am God. His friend asked, ये कब से? कब से God बन गए? I am God, how? Because people tell me that I am God. Oh, people started telling you that you are God? Yeah. When did you recognize this? Today morning when I went to the park, people said, my God. आ गए? My God, have you come? So they are seeing God. They are perceiving God in me. So I am God. So he thinks like that. Why they told? That is because, Arey Bapre, instead of calling him Rakshasa, that my God aap aaye. Okay. But he thinks he is God. There was one person who told, I don't know how this girl got my number. I don't know how this girl got my number. She is constantly troubling me. Every time I call, she only receives. I don't know how she is troubling me. I don't know how she got my number. Anytime I am trying to call anybody, this girl says, recharge your phone. Recharge your phone. Recharge your phone. There is no money. There are no minutes. I don't know how this girl, she is troubling me. We think she is troubling. In order to take you out of the trouble, she is saying, recharge. But he thinks she is troubling. Perception, belief system, conditioned way of looking at things. He is trying to call somebody, but to call something has to be there, no, it has to go through. But he thinks that is an obstruction. Husband and wife filed for divorce. And then in their divorce, they said everything half. So the judge suddenly struck an idea and said, you have only 3 children. How can you divide? Then the husband said, we will come back next year. Next year he will come back with 4th child. Then why divorce? That is a conditioning. That is a perception. I can't stand. I can't. I have my way, you have your way. That is how it is. And one youngster was telling to his friends, I think this girl is deaf and also out of order. I think this girl is deaf and out of order in the mind. Friends asked, why are you telling like this? See, when I say something, she says something different, strange. I told her I love you, and she told me I have new sandals. I told I love you. I told her I love you. She tells me I have new sandals. My sandals are new. Meaning what? Ek deunga jute leke. But he thinks so she is out of order. Why? Because she is saying something, I am saying something, she is saying something strange. Yaar. सीधी बात नहीं करती, deaf है, out of order है. That is how we think the world is. We think the whole world is out of order, and we are not in order. Where is order? Order is only in divinity. Proper order only is in God, nowhere else. That is why we have to get out of all these illusory things. All that we need to do in this world is to get out of our own conditionings, our own feelings, our own wrong perceptions. That is all we have to do. People were running on the highway. Everyone running. And one person asked, onlooker, who was standing aside and then looking at them, what are they doing? And then that man said, they are running a marathon. Oh, so what will happen in the end? One of them will get the prize. He said, what will happen in the end means one of them will get the prize. Then he said, why all others are running then? If only one person gets the prize, why others are running? क्या बेकार नहीं है? बेकार है. क्यों भाग रहे? वो एक को भगाया तो हो गया ना. इतने लोग क्यों भागे ना भाई? काम काम. His thinking is like that. One will be winner when everybody runs. One among them. Or they have other purposes also, collecting donation, this, that. So coming back to our example here. The example is parking lot. We are in our car. We are trying to take our car out. Exactly at that time, another car which is parked in front of us backs up in such a way, but we are trying to get out, that also backs up immediately in such a way that there is a thud. It dashed against our car, and the front portion of our car, including the fender, are dented. This is the situation. How we look at it, at different levels, how we look at it. Starting with utter tamasic level. Tamasic, utter tamasic. Utter tamasic level, the level of shame, the level of guilt. The thought pattern is, how embarrassing is this situation? I am a lousy driver. I can't even park the car properly. How stupid I am. I could have done something better. All on oneself. Thought pattern, utter tamasic level thinking. Situation is same. Now we move on to tamasic level. The level of apathy, grief and fear. It always happens to me. I don't know why. All the time होता ही रहता है, मेरे को ही होता, मुझको ही होता. Life is stinky. No use of talking to that other person. My car is ruined. Life is grim. कार में डैश हुआ, life grim हो गया. And I think car will never be the same again. I am at loss. I think that fellow is furious. If I go and talk to him, he may hit me. He may sue me. I don't think I can get this fixed. I don't think insurance company also will allow me to claim. And if I take it to mechanic shop, I think that fellow also will take the opportunity and rob me, steal me of my money. Thinking pattern. Tamasic level. Same situation. Now move on to Rajasic level. The level of desire, anger, pride. I can make money out of this. My friend is a lawyer. I will sue him and get more money than what is necessary and repair it at a cheap rate and bachao. Other money I can keep for myself. He is an idiot. I will teach him a lesson. एक पंच मारूंगा उसको. I am boiling inside. I will kill him. Thought pattern. The world is full of idiots. How can he hit my car? What does he think of himself? He doesn't know who am I? Pride level. क्या समझता है हमको? Thought pattern. Rajasic level. Tamasic level different. Utter tamasic level different. Rajasic level different. Now Sattvic level. The level of courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason. Both of us have insurance. Anyway, we can't handle this nuisance. Let me talk to the driver of the other car and get it settled out of court. क्या फायदा कोर्ट को जाकर? Get it settled out of court. Then these things do happen in life. It's okay. These things happen. What does it matter? Then how can I help the person to calm down? There is no need to get upset. Life is okay. And let us also be okay with each other. Then, what has happened? Only the cars have dashed. Nobody is hurt. Human life is not in danger. Nobody is wounded. Nobody is troubled. So, what is there? The insurance company will take care of all this. It is a minor issue. Probably, I think that fellow is upset. Let us leave it unto God. Oh God, please take care. Next, let us be practical. Let me take care of it quickly because I have so many other things to attend to. Why to waste time here? Let us finish it off. Let us efficiently solve it. All these are sattvic level thinking. Now higher sattvic level, higher sattva, levels of love, levels of peace. In this level, same person, from this level, look at, oh, I think that person is disturbed. First thing I have to do is calm that person down. Show my concern. So gets out, goes there, puts arm around the person, soothes the person, seeks an excuse, and then says, don't get upset. Be at ease. Don't worry. It is easy to handle the situation. We need not go into this report, this and that. Let us go our way. And then, Hare, there is a beautiful opportunity. I think both of us can work on this project. I think we can take care of it. I think you have the right talent. And then see an opportunity in that calamity, in that disturbance. And then make the friendship. And then strike a business deal. And then go and then earn profit. Now see this? All different ways of looking at the same thing. Let me be at peace. May you be at peace. Peace is more important than all these things. So this is how different levels of consciousness, people in different levels of consciousness perceive the same incident, the same thing. Meaning varies actual issue. Is it in the event or it is in our perceptions? Utter tamasic level perceptions are different from tamasic level. They are different from rajasic level. They are different from sattvic level. They are different from higher sattvic level. Perceptions vary because inner understanding is different. The level of consciousness is different. So all that we need to do is get out of these perceptions. We think our perception is real. Utter tamasic level fellow thinks my perception is real. Because that perception is based upon belief systems. Belief systems are connected with suppressed feelings. The person who is in sattvic level has already handled them. The person in higher sattvic level has transcended them. So how that person sees is totally different. The same situation which creates negativity can create positivity, can create love for the other, more compassion for the other, depending upon the level in which we are. Our perceptions are not real. That is what Adi Shankaracharya ji always said. Your perception is not real. Have the way of Shastra to look at the world, the scriptural knowledge, the higher learning, the teaching of the masters. Then you look at the world, the perception will be set right. At least your understanding will be correct. Generally what we do is, whenever there are feelings, one of the major ways of handling these feelings is suppression and repression. First thing what we do, the most common ways, we push the feelings down. Consciously if we do it, it is suppression. Unconsciously if it happens, it is repression. So, we don't want to be bothered by the feelings and we don't know what else to do, so we push them down. We either suppress or repress according to the conscious or unconscious programming that is there inside us, based upon social custom or family training or whatever learning that has happened to us. So because of this pressure of suppressed feelings, suppress, throw them, dump them down inside, don't handle them right now but suppress them, then later on this suppressed feeling will manifest as irritability, mood swinging, tension in muscles, tension in neck and back, headaches, cramps, menstrual disorders, colitis, indigestion, insomnia, hypertension, allergies, somatic conditions. All this because of suppressed feelings. So when we repress a feeling, it is because there is so much of guilt and fear that is there inside. We are not able to handle the feeling consciously. We deny all these things inside. So because of guilt and fear, we repress the feeling, we repress that impulse and deny its presence within us. Instead of feeling it and handling it, We project it onto the world and those around us, and we start thinking that this feeling is belonging to them because we are denying it inside. We don't want to see it inside, we are denying it inside. So we project it onto the world and we start seeing our feelings in other world, and then they become our enemy because of our projection. Then what we do? Then we blame people, blame places, blame institutions, blame food, climatic conditions, astrological events, social conditions, fate, God, luck, devil, foreigners, ethnic groups, political rivals, outside, inside, everywhere we keep on blaming. All because of repressed feelings give rise to all these things. So this is how suppression and repression is there. The second major way of handling feelings, expression. Feeling is vented, feeling is verbalized or stated in a body language. In body language, the negative feelings are expressed, acted out. They result in group demonstrations. Enough pressure is let out. But remaining pressure which is there is again stored and suppressed. So this expression propagates the feeling. It gives a great energy because it is expressed. And then what we do, we dump our feelings on others. That's what we do in relationship. We dump our feelings. And then when we dump these negative feelings on others, because the second major way of handling the feelings, venting them, expressing them, the others will feel as an attack. They feel as if they are attacked. And then they are forcing their feelings because they can't express their feelings because we are attacking them. So this is how when we vent our feelings upon others, we suppress a portion of it, we vent and frighten others, we contribute to their reactions, and then we in turn get into reactions. The third way is escaping. We escape from feelings. We avoid feelings through diversion. How do we escape? Into drugs, into drinks, into entertainment. That is a boon for the entertainment industry. That is a boon for the people who are ruling, who want to make a lot of money out of taxes by encouraging people to drink and get into drugs. Escaping into drinks, escaping into drugs, escaping into so many other things. When we become addicted and we become dependent upon them, and then we waste all our financial resources, our energy, distracted, forget about our goals, our duties, our responsibilities, get stuck in entertainments. How many people waste their whole finances and forget about goals in entertainment? Various kinds of entertainment. Gambling is an entertainment. There are other kinds of entertainment. Drinks and drugs are there. And not only that, they can't stand themselves. So the moment they are anywhere, they have to switch on the television. Because they can't face themselves, they will face television. Endless socializing, continuous talking, always texting. These are all ways of escaping. Continuous traveling, always wanting to go for sightseeing, too much of shopping, overeating, movie going, pill taking, drug using, cocktail partying, all these are escaping activities. We get stuck in that. Enormous of amount of energy is required in order to handle all these feelings. Suppression, repression, expression, escapism, all are faulty methods. The best method is surrender. Surrender the feeling, surrender the thought, and surrender the energy behind the feeling. When the energy behind the feeling is surrendered, then there is a decrease in that pressure, and then we let go of it. Then the breathing improves, the pulse rate improves, the blood pressure improves, muscle tension goes down, gastrointestinal problems disappear, blood chemistry improves, everything goes into the improving mode because we are surrendering all of them. Surrendering is the best way. We need to know that this is the way. not suppressing, not repressing, not venting, not escaping. This way we continue with the same feelings for next birth also, because all are stored inside. Body changes, but the same mind continues. We need to handle them and we need to surrender them. We need to surrender them unto the divinity. There was one person who was seen pushing his two-wheeler, his scooter, pushing his two-wheeler from office to home. He was pushing 10 kilometers. He was pushing. So one person asked him, "Why are you pushing your scooter?" His own close friend. He looked at him and said, "Why are you pushing?" "I forgot the key." "Where?" "At home." "Then how did you come to office in the morning?" "By pushing." Pushing the scooter, he came to office from home. Now he is going to home from office, pushing the scooter. Why? Because he forgot the key at home. He is doing an activity, he is busy doing something. It looks as if he is doing some good thing, because there is no other way out. But he is pushing. And when did you recognize that you forgot the key? When I came out of house and when I just wanted to start, then I understood. We are pushing all the way. Like that we are pushing our life with all these suppressed feelings, repressed feelings. Why should we push? Push. Hurry, surrender. Have the key and start it and surrender it. It becomes light, engine becomes light. And baito or chalo. Ride the feelings, not get ridden. Otherwise they will ride over us. So we need to handle these feelings. We need not push. We need not struggle carrying all the load, unnecessary load. Leave it to God. He can take care of it. Surrender them unto God. One patient was talking to the doctor. "Doctor, what a nurse you have appointed. What a nurse. Magical hands she has got. The moment she touched me, I started feeling different. Totally different." Then the doctor said, "I heard the slap from my room. I know she slapped you. The moment her hand touched you, you became different." Correct. But he presents in a different way. But what has happened is totally different. There was one person who came from village because he wanted to see his friend who recently shifted from village to the city, very deep interior village, tribal village like. So he came to the city and then to meet his friend. And then the friend greeted him, and then that was a weekend, so they stayed there. And then this man who came from the village saw his friend's son and said, "Aap kya padhe ho?" He said, "BA padha hu." And this man said, "Kya padhe bhai? Padhe to padhe, ulta pad rahe aap." Hey, instead of reading AB, you are reading BA. क्या पढ़ रहे, क्या पढ़े? हमारे विलेज बेहतर है, वहां A-B लाइन में सिखाते, ये क्या उल्टा पढ़ रहे इधर? सब उल्टा है वो सिटी में. As long as our thinking is ulta, we think everything is ulta only. That is how it is. So we need to set right our thinking only. That is very important. There was one person who was noticed by the cop, a drunkard. He was going. Then the cop caught hold of him. "Where are you going?" "I am going to attend the lecture on the dangers of drunkardness, the harm of drinking liquor and alcohol, how life is ruined and spoiled. I am going to attend lecture." The cop said, "It is 1 a.m. Who will give lecture at this time?" my wife and mother-in-law. And that is everyday affair. रोज सुनते रहता लेक्चर, वो रोज चलते रहता. Same goes on. Our life also is going on like that. How many times we have reacted to the people, situation, event, always think that they are at fault. It needs courageous understanding to really look at ourselves and say, yes, it is because of me. It is inside. It is because of these suppressed, repressed feelings. It is because of these belief systems, because of these conditioned perceptions. That is why I am reacting. That is why this is happening. The husband asked the wife, do I look like a foreigner? The wife said, no, you are very much Indian. Then why that lady asked me like that? Where? When? When I was in London, she asked me, are you a foreigner? The wife said she doesn't know. What else she can say? See, how I look at things, it all depends upon my true way of perceiving the things, understanding the situations. So what I need to do is, whatever I am holding inside, I have to get rid of it. It is said in the research, a single negative feeling that is held inside our mind instantly causes a loss of 50% of the body's muscle strength. 50% of the body's muscle strength is lost if you hold on to a negative feeling. Instant loss. It narrows our vision physically and mentally. Is it necessary to hold to the negative feeling? Instant loss, 50% of muscle strength. A thorough research. क्या फायदा? What is the use of holding on to these negative feelings? So we need to get out of these things. We need to cultivate the true love. We need to know about that oneness. We need to know about that divinity which is all pervasive everywhere. We need to get out of attachment. We need to relate to others in non-attachment. Then everything in this universe emits a nice vibration. Everything emits a vibration. When we maintain love, it emits a higher vibration. When we cultivate the qualities of peace and then higher sattvic qualities and then get rid of all negativities, and whatever comes out of us has a higher level of vibration. And it goes on and engulfs everybody around us. And it creates a beautiful atmosphere for us to live and then for others also to live with us. It promotes more love and then it is easily recognized by others, more peace. That is why instead of trying by ourselves so many things, let us hand over the responsibility to Bhagavan. Na janami danam na cha dhyana yogam na janami yantram na cha stotra mantram na janami pujam na cha nyasa yogam Gatistvam Tvameka Bhavani Na janami danam na cha dhyana yogam. I do not know charity. I do not know what to give, when to give, how to give, in which way to give. I don't know. All the while I had been giving negativities, contributing to more restlessness, more peacelessness, more disturbance in me and others. That is why I don't know how to give, Amma. Oh Mother Bhavani, you are the only refuge to me. You are the only shelter to me. There is nobody else to take care of me. Amma, I don't know how to give. All the while I had been contributing and giving more trouble to people, more confusion, more disturbance, strengthening my ignorance and promoting others' ignorance. That is why, Amma, I don't know how to give. I think I am giving. I think I had been giving. Many people think I am contributing this, I am giving. मेरे वजह से सब कुछ हो रहा है भाई. मैं, I am the responsible person. If I am not there, you are not there. Correct? Everybody, how many people think like that? That's why here he says, Amma, I don't know what all I gave till now. At least now, make me give the right things. I am not the giver. Na janami dhanam, na cha dhyana yogam. I don't know dhyana yogam. I really don't know. If I know dhyana yogam, why can't I contact the divinity? Why can't I express always peace if I really know dhyana yogam? If I really know meditation, yoga of meditation? I might have attended workshops because it is a shop to get their work done. If I want to get my work done through you, it is a workshop. I open a shop where you come and then I work my plan and then take your money and send you. Workshop. Na janami yantram. You open a television and then you say, you take this yantra, you take that mantra, you do this, you do that. You keep this with you. Heavens will, Kubera will come and shower on your head all money. Lakshmi from side, Kubera from above. Take this yantra. How much? 10,000 rupees. Because I know how to earn my money. I am not denying yantra, power of yantra. That is powerful. But what is being done there is only business. Yantra is a great science. If you keep that, there is so much of energy. But that is available in Begum Bazaar. For 5 rupees and 10 rupees, that yantra is available. On copper plate or other plate is available. And you can get and ask the Ritvik to do puja, you will do it, you will get energized. I am not speaking against those people who are advertising. But it is truth. Na janami yantram, na cha stotra mantram. I don't know the chanting, I don't know how to chant. Because there are some people who get obsessed with these things. So much obsessed that the whole world should know Stotra chanting. Otherwise, what is the use? You are useless fellow. You don't know chanting. You are useless. I am chanting here to tell him that chanting alone is the way. There are people, obsessions are of various kinds. What I think and believe alone is real. If you are not meeting it, you are useless fellow. I am useless. What is it? You don't know mantra? Na janami pujam, na chanyasa yogam. I don't know karanyasa, anganyasa. I don't know this. You know, when you do the ritual, they start saying, no, Kanishtikabhyam namaha, Angushtabhyam namaha, Madhyamabhyam namaha, Tarjanibhyam namaha. I don't know all this. I know. Yes, I know. I don't know. Don't bother about all these things. No need to bother. If you know one thing, Adi Shankaracharya says, forget about all. If you know one thing. Not that they are not important, they are all important. But what you should know. But in spite of knowing all of them, my reaction is same, my conditioning is same, my peacelessness is same, my trouble giving is same. What is the point of knowing all these things? Fayda kuch nahi hai. So better surrender all of them. Know one thing. What? Gatistvam, gatistvam, tvameka bhavami, na janami punyam, na janami tirtham, na janami muktim, layam va kadachit, na janami bhaktim, vratam vapi matah, gatistvam, gatistvam, tvameka bhavani, gatistvam, gatistvam, tvameka bhavani. For a mother to take the child close, what eligibility is needed? Will a mother look, my child knows mantra, tantra, yantra, punya, mukti, laya, bhakti. Will a mother see that? In order to take the child close, the child to whom she gave birth, to take that child close, to take that, hug the child, embrace the child, become one with the child, what eligibility criterion mother sees? What is the necessity to have anything? There is nothing. All these eligibility criterion are ego games. That is all. It is games. All that we need is Amma! Surrender. Amma will come. That is all is required. Nothing else. No punyam. No punyam, and go on accumulating punya and say, I have more punya than you, I have more charity than you, I do this. I don't know punyam. What to do punyam? And I don't know Tirtham also. I don't know which Tirtha Kshetras to go. I have not gone, I don't know. Na janami muktim layam va kadachit. I don't know liberation also. People are talking, you liberate this, you do liberation, that do moksha, that do, I don't know anything. Nothing I know about moksha. Neither Ashtanga Yoga I know, nor fourfold qualification of Vedanta I know nothing. Layam va kadachit. I don't know how to get into Laya also. I don't know any of these things. Na janami bhaktim vratam vapi matah. I don't know any vratas. I don't know even bhakti also. Bhakti, you should have this, you should have that. I don't know that also. Amma, I don't know anything. But I know one thing. What? You alone are my refuge. You alone are there for me. Please take care of me, Amma. I surrender unto you. I don't know meritorious deeds. I don't know how to accumulate merit. I don't know holy places of pilgrimage. I don't know any ideas of moksha. I don't know how to go beyond birth and death. I don't know how to get my mind absorbed in deep concentration and exclusive devotion and fuse with, unite with, dissolve into Supreme Being called as Laya. I don't know this dissolution into Supreme Being, fusing with Supreme Being, uniting with Supreme Being, deepest concentration with Supreme Being. I don't know all this. I don't know the path of devotion. I don't know Narada Bhakti Sutras, Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, Gargeya Bhakti Sutras, Vyasa Sutras. I don't know anything. I don't know any sutras. I don't know any texts. I did not do any vratas. I don't know religious vows. I don't know religious living. Amma, but I know one thing, that you are there for me. I surrender unto you. Gatistvam, gatistvam, tvameka bhavani. Tvameka bhavani. Because mother is compassionate, mother is always kind. Little bit you do, mother will totally come and then take you into the lap, take you into her fold. That is what mother is. Even in normal relationships also, when child is not good, bad, not doing anything okay, but the love of the mother never stops. Mother may not encourage the bad what we are doing, but love of mother is never stopped. Mother is always loving. That love Goddess has, Mother Bhavani, because we are all Amma's children. Surrender unto Amma. Whatever is there, surrender belief systems, surrender perceptions, surrender reactions, surrender feelings, surrender energy behind feelings, surrender thoughts. Anything, the moment it rises up, surrender it unto Bhavani Amma. Amma will take care. Gatistvam, gatistvam, tvameka bhavani, tvameka bhavani. Concluding prayers. Yada varnayat karna, mulenta kale, mulenta kale. Shivo Rama Rameti, Rameti Kashyam, Rameti Kashyam, Tadekam Param, Taraka Brahma Rupam, Bhajeham, 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 Namas सच्चिदानन्द रूपाय तस्मै नमो देवदेवाय रामाय तुभ्यं रामाय तुभ्यं नमो जानकी जीवितेशाय तुभ्यं नमः पुण्डरीकाय अक्षाय तुभ्यं सदा राम रामेति नामामृतं ते सदा राममानन्द निष्यन्दकन्दम् पिबन्तं नमन्तं सुदन्तं हसन्तं हनुमन्तमन्तर् भजेतं नितान्तं भजेतं नितान्तं प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रचण्ड प्रताप प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रचण्डारिकाल प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रसन्नानुकम्पिन् प्रसन्नानुकम्पिन् प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो रामचन्द्र प्रभो रामचन्द्र प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो रामचन्द्र प्रभो रामचन्द्र सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ।